Welcome. We're back.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Seekers Club of the Paranormal. Seekers Club. Hear me? It's one of those days. Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians. I just changed the name of our podcast, didn't I? Okay. It's been a long night. It's been a long day.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Our guest came down with the flu and had to cancel this morning. So we're running around all day trying to get everything together for us. So we have a show to go to tonight. And I'm going to say welcome to everybody that's in the audience that's going to be on tonight. And we are going to be talking tonight about cemeteries and the experiences that we had in cemeteries through the years and through events. And so we have some pictures and hope you enjoy it. Jennie is a little under the weather, so she's going to say hello, but say hi this way. Hi.
No, I'm okay. Everyone's been sick, so here I am.
Yeah. The flu's going around. I took the shot, so I'm hoping that's good,
Yeah, me too. And that's why I'm not that sick, but still get it. Just not as bad.
Yeah. So, Kimm, anything? Have you done anything this weekend?
No, I had a lovely snow day on Sunday. We had work was canceled. Woo! So we took the dogs out and went hiking with the dogs. But I don't know if this actually is. I know I always have like my weird like solar updates or whatever. So we just had a major solar event. We had a huge solar coronal mass ejection with massive plasma coming at Earth. It just hit us last night. And it's still ongoing right now. We had G4 severe geomagnetic storming and a radio 4, an S4 storm as well. And we haven't had one of those in 20 years to that level. So much energy incoming into the planet right now. It's unbelievable. So what does this mean? If you're feeling a little funny today, like Anthony feels a little tired today, the baby didn't sleep well, things didn't happen, it's because a lot, again, is still happening out there. And it does affect us. It really does. If you're sensitive, like I know most of the people who are watching this channel, watching our show, it's still hitting us. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why my knees, my back, I can barely walk.
It definitely doesn't help.
Back, everything. It's like
doesn't help. Ears ringing. You'll have dreams, nightmares. Like you'll feel on edge. Some people feel super, super on edge, and they have no idea why. Other people will feel really tired. Yeah, like really just completely wiped out.
Wow.
And can't you also see the northern lights?
Oh, yeah. These G forms. So here's the thing. This is the fun part, too. This is science, right? So the G4 storming typically will come down to New York and New Jersey. It'll typically go through about halfway through the U.S., but that's if the magnetosphere is in a certain orientation to the storm. And so for this storm, the orientation was off. So the northern lights were actually pretty terrible, which was really sad because I know a lot of people stayed up late last night to try and look at them. And it didn't really happen, which is kind of a bummer. But that's why. It's because it didn't line up with our magnetosphere of the Earth. So 50-50, right?
I'm so excited about this. Like I literally had notes about it, so I'm so glad you brought it up.
Yeah,
it's like we're gonna bring up the solar storm. Yay!
It was crazy. I saw the storm because I follow a guy online, Stephen Burns, and he keeps us all up to date on earthquakes and like solar alignments and whatever. And I saw the video of it of coming off the sun, and I was like, "Oh, that's the largest one I've ever seen." It was crazy.
Like 2005 or 4 or something was the last one you said? Like it was like 20 years ago.
20 years ago for the S4 storm. Yeah. So we haven't had an S4 storm in 20 years. The geomagnetic storm to a 4, we've definitely had that. Like last year, October 2024, we had that big G5
Yes.
storm where like everybody on the planet Earth was seeing
Yes.
auroras all the way down to like Florida. But no, we could have had something similar to that, but it didn't line up geomagnetically.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Well,
So we're not seeing nothing in our skies.
I know.
Well, we're getting snow, so it's on and off and everything with us.
We are, yeah. I think the whole United States is in a plunge.
It's supposed to be a big storm on Sunday, right? Sunday?
Yeah, yeah.
In our area.
Welcome.
I mean,
a comment historian. Hello, welcome.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kimm.
Yeah.
We got to start making that part of the show here. You could talk about your lunar stuff. Your lunar stuff.
The
weird.
Lunar stuff.
He makes it look like your voodoo when it's science. You mean your science? Yeah, your science.
Whatever, your lunacy. I mean, your lunar stuff.
Too funny. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Your sonacy, not your lunacy.
My sonacy.
Oh my God, too funny.
So
too funny.
Everybody in the audience, this is what you're going to get tonight. Us just talking, the three of us. Like I said, our guest, which we're going to reschedule him. He wants to definitely be rescheduled. And hopefully maybe next month or the following month, we could get him back. So that'd be great, because I know Kimm was looking forward to tonight with him.
Yeah. Me too. I only read one of his books. Now I can read another before next time.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. When I met him with Sam Baltrusa. Sam introduced us, and I seen books about fairies, and I'm like, I never heard of that. I really never really that to me was like, that was interesting, because I mean, any kind of books that you hear with fairies in are usually like kid books, or some kind of Disney stuff. And so this is more, what
the historical, it's like the historical fairies. Where did that whole concept of fairies come from? So yeah, it was thrilling. I read the book in like 12 hours.
I know. I read it in like a day, but also what I love about it is it was new. I have New York fairies, so it's local.
Yes, right.
That's the book I have. There's New York. There's no New Jersey fairies.
Well, there's New Jersey in it, so there was about Patterson, which I was like, oh my God, I have to go there now. But
I
so
know,
can't wait to talk to him about it in a future one. But we want to talk about cemeteries tonight. Or what did you guys do this weekend? What did you do, Jennie? You sound like you were in this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for once, I really did take it easy. I watched a lot of soccer, football.
Oh yeah, a lot of the football.
Yeah. Luckily, it was entertaining this weekend. A lot of exciting things on sports on TV.
Yeah, go Patriots! Woo woo! We're in it. We're happening again.
Yeah, they were great. They did great.
Yeah, no paranormal stuff for me this weekend. Just pretty much all. My son's car broke down, so he's been using mine. So I've been abandoned in here in Queens, but we're gonna have a good weekend.
Yes,
if
weekend.
Everything goes well with the weather. We're supposed to go to the convent tattoo place, and what part of Jersey that is? That's South Jersey, but what is it?
It's in Deptford, New Jersey. It's in near Trenton, outside of Trenton. Okay. And it was featured on Ghost Nation. I'm sorry, I'm trying. Can you turn that off? I can't find it. It was on Ghost Nation, an episode called Evil Inc. It's a tattoo parlor, and we had Sophia on the show. If you want to look that up, Sophia Westcott, the owner of the shop, was on the show. And it's a haunted tattoo shop. And also she has haunted objects, like dolls mostly. Kimm's favorite.
Yeah. A lot of dolls. Kimm's favorite.
You'll never turn me on to them. Never. Not once. You'll never find me.
I sent her, I see this thing that where people put these dolls on the floor, and they put stuff on, and they made it into like the floor, all these dolls. And I said that to Kimm. She's like, so this way you can make your house. So,
Oh my God. The whole wall of dolls. No, Sophia was on the show. She was amazing. She's a really cool person.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody's well and we get there Saturday night. The weather.
Yeah, we'll see how the weather is. I mean, I got to
We
go
don't want to
through.
be driving home in that driving
No,
smell.
no,
No,
not back to where I am. I got to go over
terrible.
bridges, and
Yeah.
I get over the bridges, and
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, it's
and
a 9 Lives Paranormal event.
Yeah.
because it's like two hours for me to get down and go where it's, which is not bad, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You go. So, well, we do have a show about cemeteries tonight. And anybody that's been on listening to us, that's been here for a while, knows that I had pretty much my starts of investigating back in the 70s in the cemeteries. So I just heard a fact tonight, and I was like shocked. In Queens, we have over 500 cemeteries.
What?
Yikes.
And I'm like, they said there's two dead people for every one in Queens.
Ooh.
And I believe it. I think some of those dead people still walking around here, but
Yeah, in your
I know I
your
worked
apartment.
out for them. But I was like 500 cemeteries. Then I was like looking in why, and in the 1840s, there was a rural act that was starting to be formed that Manhattan wanted to start removing some of the cemeteries there. So they wouldn't.
They need
They
the
would
space.
just start to moving bodies out of their backyards and everything like that. And it ended up that they ended up going to. They brought a lot of them over to Queens because in the 40s, Queens started the cemetery. People started buying land to make cemeteries, so it was affordable to put your people, your family in there. Because it was very expensive to bury people, like today, very expensive. But they were starting to be in this place. People buying plots of land to bring everybody over, what they were having, because they had to remove people from their graves and stuff. So, to me, it was like really because like everybody knows, I grew up around 9 cemeteries. Glendale's cemetery belt. So I had a lot of experience in that, which we'll talk about later on. But I was like so shocked how many people are buried in Queens. More people dead in Queens than living, and that's crazy.
No, is it true?
Yeah, they said it's for every one person is 2 people dead that's buried there.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, we always forget like where we live in New Jersey and like the 5 boroughs area is one of the most densely populated areas in the entire United States. New Jersey is the most densely populated state of all the states.
Yes, that's true.
And I mean, if we've been here since the late 1600s, I mean, that's just people on top of, it's just more and more and more people. Where are you going to put them? So, of course, I mean, that's 400 years of people being in the area, densely populated like that. So I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, there's more people dead than alive anyway.
I love
it.
Yes.
Just the way you like it, Anthony.
From the
Just the way you like it.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for dead people, we would have no time to go out on weekends looking for dead people, or communicating with them. That's why, I mean, we need to bet dead people. I grew up in OC. Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's interesting how, I like I said, I was like shocked, not shocked, but I was intrigued. How about that word? Look at that.
Yeah.
I got a big word there. Intrigued.
It's a fun fact.
Woo!
Fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, that is a great fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you guys got to come to Queens. We got to go do some cemeteries.
You come hang out with dead people in Queens.
You can hang out with the dead.
We hang out with that every weekend anyway.
I know.
I just got the book.
What book is that? Oh, Cypress Hills Cemetery.
Hills. This is the cemetery I pretty much grew up in.
And there's tabs on it.
Yeah, because I'm doing research on all the different locations, all the different people, and all the different things that I want to go back there with.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. What happened tonight? Anthony's got the book.
Look,
and a tree.
Anthony can read. He just, it's a little strong.
No, it's just funny. Usually I have the book and all the, notes in it.
Yeah, I got the notes and everything. Yeah. Glendale was called what? The cemetery belt.
Wow.
Because everybody used to bury their deceased there, in the different locations in there. Because it had all different cemeteries there, from the Jewish, Catholic, Lutheran, Protestant, every type of religion is buried in that area. I know where I am in Queens, out of 200, we got 9. So it's a lot of history going on there. So,
well, Anthony, how do you think that influenced you becoming a paranormal investigator? Do you think you would have still become a paranormal investigator if you had grown up like in the Midwest, not around any cemeteries?
I think I would have been something involved with it because I've been experiencing things since I was a kid. And when I got older, I wanted to, get answers. And that's why I got into the paranormal, really, to get some answers. That's why I used to draw. I used to draw everything. And before I even started investigating, I started investigating in the early 70s, and I started hanging out in the cemetery. It's funny because 8, 9 years old, back then, we used to go out and play all day. And your parents didn't know where they were. 8, 9 years old now, everybody has to know where your kids are. But back then, we used to hang out in cemeteries. That's what was there. And back in the 70s, the cemeteries were a lot of this part of the cemetery had like open fields and stuff. So we go out there, we play football, we play baseball, we play ring or Livio. Yeah, that's a game that ring and Livio. We used to that's what it was called. And it was, some people call it manhunt, some people call it some other stuff. But
wait, what are you actually saying? What is
ring Livio?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear, Jenny. What?
Ring of Lirio. I don't know what it means.
Ring of Lirio.
Lirio.
Never heard of it. It sounds Irish.
It could be. I don't know. Remember, I grew up in a neighborhood. It was all German.
Yeah, even Mary Beth was like, "Ring what?"
Yeah,
something like that. Okay.
Really get
they also call it manhunt.
Wait, somebody knows manhunt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So manhunt in a cemetery?
Yeah.
That's ironic. That's interesting.
Wait. Okay, we're starting off with a good question here. What do we think of that guy they caught stealing bodies? Is this recent?
In Pennsylvania cemetery?
Well, I mean, they used to steal bodies in cemeteries for medical stuff. I mean, it wasn't really stealing. They knew they were doing it and getting paid and stuff like that. But I mean, they would steal bodies. Are we talking about like modern times, or are we talking about?
No.
I'm telling you right now. We had people
last week.
That was last week. I don't know about that guy, but I know in cemeteries in Glendale, they have security going around. They got sometimes have helicopters flying around with spotlights because of people robbing graves. And they don't rob the graves for body parts and stuff. They rob it for the head, the skull. Anything that's over 100 years old in skulls, in certain satanic religions, they use that as a chalice. And they make them into chalices and they drink out of them. And they feel that the older the skull is, the more power it has in it.
Yeah, I feel like you can just order real skulls online. Like you don't have to go into a cemetery. Yeah, I'm pretty sure on Temu you can probably get a skull.
No,
yeah,
seriously.
You probably can. But I'm just saying, they rob it from
old
days. But the whole thing, even if you get a new skull, you don't know how old that skull is.
I am gonna look it up really quick.
Wait, I know. Look at this. Over 100 bodies.
This is in PA. Okay, hold on. This is
100 skulls.
It wasn't me. I'm not into robbing skulls. 100 skulls. Man.
It's like too much work.
Now this is a conversation. We got to look at this. Robbing skulls.
Here we go.
Oh my
it got
God!
dark
Yeah,
fast.
Jonathan Gerlach, 34 years old, is facing more than 500 criminal charges following investigating into repeated break-ins at Mount Moriah Cemetery. Wow.
Wait, no.
His story
I'm
is
dying.
crazy.
This got dark fast. Really fast.
Did you go to his storage locker?
What?
Oh my God. This conversation went like right dark.
This
Really
is
quickly.
great.
What is
Well, with
happening?
the audience is this is great. We got a chat going on.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Did you hear me talk about him? I don't know. My volume might have gone out. Did you hear me?
Mhm.
We just
Okay,
heard
great.
you just
Okay,
now.
okay. Sorry, I had to. Sometimes it,
Yeah.
sometimes
I'm
there's a delay
sorry.
when I go to another website.
Yeah, I just
Right.
went blow. Look at this.
I'll forward you his
cycle.
Instagram.
Ooh, creepy.
Weird.
He's got an Instagram. He's got Instagram.
You got Instagram?
I'm
This is
sorry,
my
it's
friend.
awful.
Scully. That's great.
Well, I guess maybe we haven't evolved that much if we're still robbing graves that we were doing
it's rough.
hundreds of
People
years
still
ago.
do it. You don't want to listen to me.
Weird.
So-
No, it's true.
There's one. Go ahead.
But a few episodes ago, I was talking about when I went to Bali, and in Indonesia, at least on the island of Bali, they purposefully unbury their dead because they only cremate their dead on a certain date and time. I forget I said, was it 5 years? Was it every 5 years? Yeah. Every 5 years, they have a cremation ceremony. The whole island has a cremation ceremony. So if you die like the day after the cremation ceremony, you get buried for 5 years. And then your family has to unbury you. So
yeah, it's like a bonfire. Everyone gets
Yeah, I
cremated
know.
at once. Everybody at once in the fire.
I can't imagine. I
crazy.
can't imagine. It's so beyond our practices. And it's very, ritual and sacred for them. Like it's a very sacred process, but it's so beyond what we can even comprehend here.
Kim, what was the reason that they buried them for 5 years?
It's an auspicious day. So like it's like a holiday sort of like sacred day. So they choose this sacred day to do the cremations for everybody because it's the optimal time for everybody to be able to be released back into in heaven and stuff like that onto their next life because they believe in reincarnation.
Right. So the burial's just like a storage.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's just the place to keep the body temporarily.
You gotta do somewhere. Yeah, it's
better than a 55-gallon drum in the backyard.
Yeah. What do you know about that?
I don't want to know anything about that.
Care to elaborate?
But I want to tell one story about in the cemetery how actual spirit did save my life. I drew the picture and I'll show you a location where it happened. I'll just tell you the story. I might tell the story already. I know Jennie probably heard the story and stuff, but I was maybe 10, 11 years old, maybe younger. It was like early 70s. And we were hanging out in the cemetery and we used to play football there. And a bunch of us, and it was me and my friend Charlie and maybe a couple other people. And there was a bunch of older guys with us. They were all dicks. They ended up they all grew up to be assholes. So they were dicks then, they become assholes.
Yeah.
But we were walking down this one road when we were leaving after me and Charlie were walking, and the older guys were walking by in back of us. And this little Volkswagen Bug car pulls up. It was yellow. Guy leans over and asks, he goes, "Can you tell me how to get out? How can I get out of the cemetery?" So I'm in there. I'm like, "Well, you just go down this, just follow this road all the way down, and you got the exit. You can go right out there." So he goes, "Can you get in the car and show me?" And I'm like, I'm like, and all of a sudden I kept on hearing, danger, danger, don't, danger, danger. So I look up on the hill, I see somebody standing up on the hill. And it was like, I don't know what it was. And then I'm like, no, I'm not getting in no car with you.
What did it look like on the hill? You said you saw something on the hill. What did it look like? Is that what you drew?
He drew, yeah, he drew it.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay, great.
I got like a harbinger or something.
Is that? Yeah. That's what I kind of seen. I remember 73. Okay. And he kept on saying, danger, danger. So then Charlie, the guy goes, listen, if you come with me, I'll give you $10. $10 back then was a lot of money, especially for a 10-year-old back in the 70s. I'll give you $10. So Charlie's like, I'll go. And I'm like, no, Charlie, you're not going. I grabbed him and I pulled him back. I'm like, you're not going. He's like, I want to go. He starts arguing with me. I'm going to go. So the guy's like, oh, and he just takes off. And a couple days later in the newspaper, there was a kid on Jamaica Avenue that was missing. A boy. He was on Jamaica Avenue, and they said he was last seen around a yellow Volkswagen Bug.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, did all the hair in the back of your head go up on that interaction?
I didn't know about it because remember, I was like 8. I was like 10. I was between 8 to 10 years old, and my and I overheard it my mother or somebody reading it in the newspaper, and I was like, that's what just happened to us, and I got my mother. We went to the police station, reported it, but nothing ever happened by it, you know. And we don't know what happened to the kid. We never heard anything else ever again, if he disappeared and whatever. But I mean, it wasn't for the spirit on the hill. Nope, the wrong one.
So do you feel like you saw the spirit's mouth moving, or you just like heard it in your head?
I heard it in my head.
Yeah.
I really heard it in my ears, to tell you the truth.
Like external? You heard it like
I heard it like
cool.
It was like surrounding me, and he kept on danger, no, don't, danger, don't, danger, don't, and that kept on repeating over and over as this guy was talking to us, you know.
Did you recognize the voice?
No, not at all.
Wow. Yeah.
The part of the cemetery is this. This you see how the old cars? This is an old part here. This pond doesn't exist anymore. Matter of fact, that's where Mae West is buried, in that right there. But it was right in front of this place. This has happened. But that used to be the old pond that was there. Mae West is buried in there. Peter Luger's buried in there. Jim Colbert. Yeah. That's an abbey.
What? I don't know what that is.
An abbey is a building where they like drawers that they slide bodies into. That's what an abbey is. Like you see the small monuments and stuff like that.
The small like mausoleums?
The mausoleums, the monuments, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is a huge one with multiple bodies in there.
Oh my God.
This one had, and usually rich people will put there.
I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that.
I grew up with that around Glendale constantly.
So like you walk in and it's just like a hall of bodies?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Goes up. I got pictures of one of the other abbeys that I investigated in here. It's hard to get into this one. There was another one that's in the cemetery, which I got into. I'll show you some pictures. You walk into it, and it's like actually rows of where the bodies are buried with their names and stuff like that. And then there's like a little church area in there where you could pray. And it's all marble. The whole place is marble. Staircases going up. It's very fancy.
Wow.
You
know? No, I've never been in one.
But in front of this place is where that happened. And it was weird because I forgot all about that story. I drew that picture back when, and I forgot all about this story. I had a couple years ago, we had the Catholic school I was going to was the grammar school, and it was St. Pancras. And
the what school?
St. Pancras. It was my
God,
grammar
you're
school.
full of
What's a
strange
gra-
names today.
Huh?
I don't know the word you're saying before school.
Saint
No.
Pancras.
Grava?
Grammar school.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, grammar school, like elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Learn something
You
every
guys,
day.
I mean,
Anthony is
millennials, Gen
all
X,
these
whatever.
good words
Well, what the
tonight.
hell?
I think my
I was
husband
born,
called
that's
it
why
that
we
once.
talked.
Okay. Sorry. I don't know that word.
Grammar
And
school.
then it was like Saint Pancras, which is also a very interesting.
It's a pancreas. I'm like, what?
Not Pancras, Saint Pancras. He's a saint.
I've never heard of
Okay,
him.
okay. I don't know much about either.
Oh,
Grammar
man.
or saints.
Well,
I
we're
hope you
having
guys
a
can you
reunion.
guys see this?
Who's that?
Shoot. It's not good.
Yeah, I did. I saw him. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
That's
want to
the
make
guy?
any
That's-
assumptions
I
about a
can't say.
that's
person.
the body snatcher, dude.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's the thing. Somebody I heard of Bing. Maybe I don't know. But
Yeah.
the whole thing is, let me get back to my story.
All right.
Yeah. So we had a reunion. Not a reunion. The school was closing. St. Pancras was closing. And they had people that would graduate from like 1970 to 1979. I graduated in 77. I'm old. And so I graduated from that. So we had this reunion and everybody got together and said goodbye to school. Some of the nuns stopped by, some of the priests, and some of the old teachers and everything. Some of them still alive, but some of them had to be wheeled in there and stuff. I mean, some of them were really old. So we got together and we, saying goodbye to school and stuff. So this Charlie comes up to me. Remember I said the kid Charles that was trying to get in the car?
Yeah.
And I pulled him away.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up to me and he goes, "You're the man that saved my life." I said, you saved my life. I said, how did I save your life? Don't you remember that day in the cemetery when a yellow Volkswagen Bug pulled up and I was going to get in and you pulled me back? And I said, and I forgot all about that story for years. I forgot about it. I was like, that's 70s, early 70s I was talking about. And he's like, yeah, you saved my life. I want to thank you. And he shook my hand and hugged me. I'm like, you're welcome. And then I went home and I dug the picture out and said, oh, yeah. I remember that story. So, spirit that saved our lives.
the
Wow.
spirit
Yeah.
that saved your life.
That was crazy. So
I like that story. It's a
I'm
happy
so
ending for
curious.
you.
I want to ask more about the spirit. Do you think it was a spirit guide, or you think it was a spirit in the cemetery?
spirit in the cemetery.
Interesting. Even more
That cemetery has a lot of stuff going on. I got some more pictures from there and stuff, and other cemeteries in the area. But yeah, in that cemetery, there's a lot going on. There was a lot happened there and stuff. When I was a kid, there was a lot of open fields, and now there's not. There were so many movies that were filmed in that cemetery too. There's a
Really?
scene. I don't know if you watched the movie Rent. No.
I know of it. No, I've never seen it.
There's a scene, and it's funny because my wife loved that movie, so we used to watch it, and all the time. And there's a part of the cemetery where somebody's being buried and stuff, and it's up on the hill there, and I'm sitting there, I'm like looking, I'm like, that looks familiar, and it's like, that's Cypress Hill Cemetery. That's and I recognize the whole area. That's how much time I spent in that cemetery as a kid, and to now, because I go back there and I do my, people see me on Facebook or some of the pictures. I just went to some of the graves out there, Jackie Robinson and all that stuff. But yeah, it was like those movies shot there, and there's all kinds of stuff down in there besides, But it's an interesting cemetery, and there's so many people buried there. So I don't know, but
Beautiful. That's a great story.
A lot of history there.
That's a great cemetery story. I don't have a better one than that. I have a cemetery story though. It's kind of funny. It's a high school story. One of my friends lived next to a cemetery, and we got so drunk we couldn't get over the fence. We ended up sleeping in the cemetery right against the fence next to her house. We cut through it to get to her house because she lived next door. And we were so drunk we couldn't get over the fence. So I woke up in a cemetery and I'm like, oh, what did we do?
That's pretty special. That's pretty special, Jenny.
That's my story. That's
were you cold? You must have been freezing.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Cemetery. Now
it wasn't all night. It was like 3 hours, but I was like, I can't climb the fence. Neither can I.
Yes. I woke up in the cemeteries a lot of times when I was a kid too.
Like that, where you can't function.
Right? I hope my parents aren't watching right now.
They're like, what? What are they gonna do? Ground you now?
What cemetery? Do you know what cemetery? It was just one by your house.
It's a small one, like a almost a family one, but it had high fences.
Here's another picture I want to show you. People, maybe this is another reason. I grew up around cemeteries. Not only that, I went to high school. That's my high school. It's in the cemetery.
This explains a lot, Anthony.
This does explain a lot.
Kimm, you know what I mean?
This is one of the highest spot in Queens.
The picture is becoming more full. Yes.
I know. It explains a lot.
We're getting a tour of Anthony's life. Look at this. This is a beautiful high school.
Cemetery. This is your life.
Look at that school. Now that school closed also. They made it. They so big. They made it into like 5 different schools.
Wow.
But when I went there, it was very violent.
Oh,
very violent.
Wow. So you just looked out at graves?
Yeah.
From your school?
Yeah. Well, you had a side that came in not through the cemetery. It came in. That's in Brooklyn, that cemetery. That's funny because that cemetery, the cemetery we're talking about, Cypress Hill Cemetery, it's all connected. And Cypress Hill Cemetery, there's a little portion of it it's in Brooklyn, and the rest is in Queens, in Glendale, considered Glendale area. Like in the Foxes are buried there, and they're like right on the borderline of Queens and Brooklyn.
Right you have to tell the Fox sister story again sometime. But really quick, I don't want to forget this because this is a really good question. It goes back to what's the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery, right? Like isn't a graveyard at a church?
Yeah, usually graveyards are church graveyards, and the cemeteries are like this, big, with multiple people. And usually graveyard cemeteries got to do whatever faith of the church is, But
I think they ran out of room too.
Yeah, I feel like they just ran out of space.
Yeah.
I mean, they do run out.
Everyone knows this. I thought I was so smart. Everyone knows this. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, graveyards usually smaller, but yeah. Like I said, I grew up around the cemeteries. And matter of fact, the one cemetery, All Faith Cemetery, did have a church in it. I'll tell you the story on that one.
A church in it?
Yeah, there was a church. There was a church in it. The church burned down twice. All right. And then the third time they got rid of it. But it burned down 3 times. But the first 2 times they rebuilt the church. So
what church? I don't know what you're talking about.
It was what do you call a church?
Am I still in Queens? Am I still placing myself in Queens?
Yes. Well,
okay.
Where do I go? I
don't know. I don't know where we are now. I jumped states.
I was born there, but I
grew up with the hands.
Hey.
But, so there's a cemetery in Queens.
Yeah, it was called Lutheran Cemetery at one time. Now they call it All Faiths. Okay. And I got a picture of I drew a picture from there also. But there was the church that was in the cemetery, and like I said, it burned down a couple of times, and the third time it burned down and they left it. But the third time it burned down, it was weird because they don't know how it burned down. It just burned down. And it's inside the cemetery. Cemeteries at 4 o'clock in Queens usually are locked. They usually shut them down. You're not supposed to be in. or you get arrested for trespassing. Okay. Of course,
Oh,
didn't stop us from going into these cemeteries at nighttime. But this cemetery
Get
was
to the front.
it burned down, and my friend was dating this girl, and she was her brother was a freelance photographer, so he was passing by as the church was burning, and he went up and took pictures of the church, and it was weird because she was showing us pictures that he took of the church, and it looked like a woman in the one of the structures of the doorway, and her hand was up and like this, and it looked like a shape of a woman within the flames. It was
Wow.
crazy. Matter of fact, he ended up selling that pictures of some back then some supernatural magazines that were out, and
oh,
it was weird, and I was like, that's
that's
crazy.
creepy.
Yes, but
Strange.
a week after that, um, her I'm trying to remember her name, and the woman Constance, Jackie. Her name was Jackie, and her friend Constance. They were having dreams, and they would call each other up in the morning, and they had the same dream of a woman screaming, "Save my church, serve my
Oh my
church,"
gosh.
and the same exact dream they would have every night, "Save my church," and it would always end up in flames. Okay, and it was like weird because they used to go because this cemetery was like the route between us, Glendale going to Mill Village, and Mill Village had this big shopping center there. It was TSS store and a Robert Halls. I know two stores that don't exist anymore. Kim probably like, what?
I have no idea. No.
Yeah,
I'm probably
Kim
like,
doesn't
what?
know, but you don't either. But these two stores, and the Robert Hall store was like a clothing store, so the women used to go back and forth. So to go there, they used to cut through the cemetery. They used to cut to this Old Faith Cemetery and go there. And okay, one time they're coming home and they see an old woman on one of the benches. And now the cemetery's closed. They see a woman on the bench crying. So they go by and they just because you don't want to go up to anybody in the cemetery and say at nighttime, if they're by themselves. So they go past this woman, she's crying. So they start to go, let's go help her. They turned around, she was gone. She vanished.
Wow.
Okay. So there was people telling everybody there was something in that cemetery. Somebody they see a woman in the cemetery. So it was rumors through the years that was some woman in the cemetery, especially on that road. So one night, I was about 12, 13 years old, and a group of us with the girls, we went to the cemetery to go to the park, go shopping and stuff, and we were coming back home. As we got back home, um, as we were coming back, the sun was going down and stuff, and we're about to go to the fence. As we're talking, it's like before we go to the fence, we start talking, and I'm trying, talk to some girls, and my stud self back in 13 years old. Hey, no idea, but hey, and then I was like, I started talking to my friend Vinny. I turned to Vinny as I started talking to him, and over his shoulder, in front of, there was a bunch of little graves there, and there was a woman praying, her hair blowing in the wind, and and I seen the color. So her hair was like red. She had like a white gown blowing in the wind, and she was just praying like this. The problem is there was no wind.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like turning to my friends, and I'm like, "Do you see this?" So I wonder what's wrong with her. Is she okay? And everybody's looking. They go, "Who?" Nobody's seen her. I'm the only one who's seen her. So that's
Oh, wow.
the first time I seen a full body apparition.
Yeah.
Full body. 13 years old. I'm like crazy. So I go running home. Some of the people come with say, "Are you okay?" Someone looking after me and stuff like that. And so I told people next day what happened. But that night I had a dream of a woman telling me, "Come back, come back." And but she's telling me come back to on top of the hill where the ruins of the church was. Now the church was burned to the ground. Okay, and they demolished whatever, and they keep it safe and everything. So the next day start telling my friends I'm going to go back to the cemetery, and I got this crazy dream, and some of them were like, "What's wrong with you? You're crazy," and all this stuff. And two of my friends were like, the guy Vinny and his girlfriend at the time. So well, I'm not going to let you go in there by yourself. So I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I mean, I was scared, but I was like, I don't know, more intrigued. I don't know. I was more into finding out what was going on. So I go into the cemetery, and you go up around cemeteries. You're not afraid to go into a cemetery at night.
Right.
I mean, you're not that afraid. And a lot of times in the cemetery at nighttime, you don't have. Back then, we didn't have flashlights. We went with what the moonlight was, and the moon actually lit up the whole cemetery as you walk through, and your eyes adjust after a while. So I'm going to the cemetery, and at the time back then, there was a old dirt road that led up to where the top of the church was. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up. I'm going up that road, and my two friends are following behind me, and they're like, "You're crazy, you're crazy." I said, "Listen, guys, just stop. I had a bad feeling. Just let me go by myself. You guys stay here." And they said, "No, no, no, no." As they said that, a branch fell between us and them from a tree.
What's
It wasn't a
that?
big branch, but it was enough to scare them off. They're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you're on your own," and they ran away.
I
Yeah.
was like, get out. Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
like, okay. So I walk up, and I walk into the middle of where the church was, the center of the church. And on the back of my back, I feel like cold hands, like pushing me a little bit. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with this. So I start walking to where the hands were pushing me. So I go into that spot. I go walk, and all of a sudden I stop. There was a grave in front of me. It said Mary on it. And I'm like, Mary. I don't remember the last name. I don't remember to this day. I've been looking for that grave, and I still to this day I can't find that grave. Okay, I see Mary. So at this point, I said, okay, enough's enough. I have to get out of here. So I start running. I'm like running top speed. Now I'm just scared. I'm running, and I start running out of breath because little fat kid. And I go
Oh my
and I
God.
stop. I'm out of breath. I look at my side. That same grave was next to me. It said Mary on it. I'm
Oh my
like,
gosh.
no. I start running again, and I'm running. Again, I stop. And I'm seeing the same grave. I'm seeing the same grave, Mary. And then I was like, so all of a sudden I started hearing my friends calling me. They finally came back for me. And they, Anthony. So I was like, okay. And so I went with them off, and I went home that night and stuff. But that cemetery, I went years back. Of course, I went back to that cemetery, but it was at nighttime and stuff. But it really, I feel that how the woman came to me. Her name was Mary. Okay, and I think that's what she wanted to tell me. Her name, and everything. So it was weird how that happened. When I did go back to the cemetery, I did go back to the spot, and I'm talking about many, many, many. Now I'm doing more investigating. I brought a team with me and stuff, so I want to check this place out. So I actually made a meetup group. Also, I had a Seekers Club at Paranormal, which everybody heard at the beginning of this. But I had a meetup group called Paranormal Seekers Club, and I had a bunch of group. So I had people come with me to go to this area, and I went to the area where Mary was praying, and it's actually a location where they buried children that died in 1919.
Mm.
Whole location, and the grave she was praying over had a little what do you call it? A lamb on it. That was part of that was the tombstone.
Right.
It was a lamb, and the child that was there It didn't have much more. You couldn't read it because it was like it was all worn out, what it was saying on the grave. But that whole location was children. So maybe I really don't know why she came to me. But after that's when I starting to investigate on my own in the cemeteries and everything with dowsing rods and everything. At 13 years old, I've been running around cemeteries by myself looking for
Wow.
ghosts. But that was crazy. That was a time.
Gee.
So
This explains so much. Like, I learned so much about you. Earlier today, guys, I sent these two a word that meant actually there's two words actually I found out. One of them is taphophilia, and that's, I think, an interest in cemeteries. And then the other one was an abnormal interest in cemeteries. And I don't know how to pronounce it. Do you know how to pronounce it? I don't know if it's metro or koi metromania.
I tried to download it for you, and some reason I couldn't find it.
I just thought those are fun facts, that there's actually words for that. So TAPHO, right? Like in philia, meaning love, right? Taphophilia is that you love cemeteries, and the other one is that you abnormally love them. Like you're too.
I wonder on the spectrum where Anthony is for that.
I'm going to go with normal.
Normal love of cemeteries.
I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, abnormal might not be the right word, right? Like, I mean, he does have an extreme
love of cemeteries.
I love it.
I mean, that is abnormal. It doesn't make you abnormal, but it's more than most people.
Great. I love that.
So I don't.
Yeah, that's real. I love those words. I've never heard those before.
So
yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
You guys gave me videos. You guys gave me videos, and there's one video with Kimm talking. You want me to play that?
No, I have a whole story and setup for that, Anthony. Don't do that yet.
Oh, I mean, I think he's talking about
the 9 o'clock. I don't want to run out of time for you guys. Because I could talk for another 5-10 hours.
Yeah, go play away.
No, don't play that video.
Okay.
That's not the one. I think that he's thinking of the one I sent. That's like 10 seconds.
No, this one is 2 minutes, 2 minutes 11.
No, that's the one I gave. Yeah,
that's hers. That's hers.
Don't play that yet.
Okay.
But what I wanted to ask is, because I think this is so interesting, this idea of schools and cemeteries. And I mean, when I was growing up, whenever we passed a cemetery on the school bus, we would always like hold our breath. Was that just like a Massachusetts thing, or did everybody? No. You did something like that too, Jennie, or had like a superstition?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of, like, whistle past the graveyard, hold your breath, right? Is an expression, right? It's a common expression. And then holding your breath is so that they don't see that you're different.
Oh.
Yeah, so they don't see that you're like, they don't come after you because you're alive, right? Like that they think you're one of them.
Oh, okay. We would almost pass out sometimes. I mean, not that our cemeteries were 250 acres and our cemeteries
50 acres later
spanning 2 different towns. But
if I held my breath in Glendale every time
we held our breath,
I would have died.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. My cemeteries that we passed in school were not to that extent, but there is definitely, I can recall many cemeteries outside of schools, like schools next to cemeteries. That's really interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd really even thought about that, but yeah, we would hold our breath as our bus was passing.
I love this same idea. Turn down the radio when I drive, so not to disturb the spirits.
Yeah, love that. And then you used to put our hands up on the car roof to hold
up bridges.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. No, yeah, definitely. I don't know what I think whistle past the graveyard has other meaning now, but it had to start from whistling past the graveyard, right?
Yeah,
like
something
originally. I think now it means to get away with not getting, in trouble, that kind of thing. Like I got lucky, but
well, there is something about a whistling in spirit and spirits of graveyards, or like spirits out in the woods hearing the whistling. So I don't know, maybe if it was something like something to do with.
Could
That's
be.
interesting. I'm going to look into that. I've never heard the whistling one. I've
Yeah.
never heard of holding the breath.
Yeah.
Maybe this was a New
Whistling,
England
yeah.
thing. A
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
people have all kinds of stuff, like superstitions about cemeteries. If anyone has one, another one, let us know. There's some good ones.
And it's interesting, Anthony, you talked about how the spirit found you in your dream. So one of my most intense spirit nightmares, because I have spirits come in dreams to me a lot, actually, especially in relation to locations I'm going to be investigating. They'll come in my dreams and tell me names, dates, stuff like that about the location. But I had this one, and this is also related to a school. So in the next town over, it's the Denville Historical Society. The gentleman who runs it used to have, or maybe he still does, like a Halloween walk downtown. And actually, it's down the street from the antique shop that we did our documentary. So it's not far from where the documentary was that we had on the show.
Yeah.
And so he said, because he was looking for a medium to like help host this haunted walk. And I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. And he goes, okay, I'm going to test you, which I'm like rolling my eyes like, okay, he's going to test me. Right. So he tells me to go down the street and he says, I want you to read the school. And I said, okay. I'm like, first of all, that's weird, whatever. So I went down the street and there's a parking lot with a playground, and then there's a school on the other side. And I literally looked into with my senses and whatever. And I actually, oddly enough, I saw murder there, which was crazy to see that, like in Denville, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I look at the school and I was like, oh no, there's graves. I was like, there's a graveyard underneath here. And so here I am finding these two things, which are pretty heavy things to be finding when you're doing a reading of a location. It's not really enjoyable to be reading locations like that. So I debated whether emailing him or not. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to email him. I'm going to send it out. And I did. And I never heard back from him. But I went and did my own research because I'm whatever, I'm me. And it's true. In the 1970s, a woman was murdered in that parking lot across from the school. And the school actually was built on graves from, they believe they were slaves. So it was a slave burial ground. But it was that night, after I read that location, Anthony, I had a wild spirit dream in the school. And it was not a very nice spirit that I encountered in the school. And it turns out that school has historically many, many, many paranormal events, like paranormal occurrences that you can find online as well. But yeah, anyway, I never spoke to this gentleman again because I was like, how rude to send me to those two places to read.
Yeah.
Like I was so upset. I was just like, it's not a game. It's not a game. It's not like something you need to test or prove it. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's cemeteries and schools, something about it.
It's not the shock value. It's not for shock value.
It's not for shock
value. I looked up Whistle Past the Graveyard. It says to feign cheerfulness or confidence, to hide fear, anxiety, or denial about a difficult situation.
You were right. Yeah.
So acting brave, so I guess that makes sense.
It's kind of like I'll do that singing in when I'm doing an investigation. Sometimes if I am scared at a place, I'll start singing.
Yeah. I think I mentioned on one of the shows that my daughter's elementary school is next to a cemetery, the Catholic cemetery here. And they share a fence, and the playground is next to the children that are buried.
Wow.
And I always thought that was kind of beautiful. Like I always feel like take the fear out of things. That's been my thing since I got involved in this. Like I always thought that's kind of lovely, that the kids would be buried next to the playground. I thought that was beautiful.
I mean, there really is nothing wrong with the dead. You know what I mean? It's just these stories that people have made up over eons and eons and eons about them. But I mean, in fact, there's really nothing, that scary about them to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. They're people and they're children. And I love that they wouldn't be scared because
Yeah.
You know, they went to school. What do you call it? Grammar school? Grammar school?
Yes.
Elementary school, whatever, next to the graveyard, you
This is
know?
like a
And they were
ghost
just like,
town,
that's
right?
normal.
Right.
There's a, I mean, I don't know why they do that. Maybe because of value of property and stuff. So I know graveyards don't pay taxes and stuff. Maybe if you put your school on there, they don't pay taxes. I don't know, but
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's what I thought.
interesting how they do that. Maybe with the youth, you know, and I don't know. Really don't
Yeah.
know why they would do that.
yeah, it is
But
interesting.
Kim, the reading you did, Kim, the being built on top of the slave cemetery. I mean, that's like right out of Poltergeist. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like,
it was. I know, and I was like, no wonder why this is the haunted street to walk down and do your ghost tour. I'm like, but yeah, and it's all documented too. There's there's articles that you can look at for the town that literally says they found bodies, and yeah, I was like, wow, that's not great. From it was like the 1700s and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah. Anyway, I have not spoken to that man since, and he's not on my top 10 list.
no, he was using you. Do you want to do your stuff, Kim?
Sure. Yeah. So, as you know, it's interesting because Anthony, you said you got your start in cemeteries. Well, and I sort of did too. Honestly, the location I'm going to talk about briefly here, well, hopefully not briefly, but talk about now, is St. Patrick's Cemetery in Rockaway, New Jersey. And it was the first place that I actually started having experiences outside and reading locations. I had had paranormal experiences at a really old house I used to stay at, but it wasn't until I moved to New Jersey and I went to this place just on a hike out in the woods. I knew nothing about the place, nothing about New Jersey, about the history. I moved here in 2014 and I started hiking in this area. And the first time I went on this trail, I had my dogs. It was July. It was like the dead of summer, full leaf cover. And I'm walking on the trail, and all of a sudden, I got this feeling that I was completely surrounded by spirit. And it was like I was walking through this tunnel of spirits, and there were men, women, children, all ages, all wearing very plain, like black and white clothing. And I was like scared enough that I actually like gathered my dogs and I was like kind of hustling out of there. And then I didn't really think anything of it because when you walk on this trail, you don't see anything. You can't see there's no structures. You're in the middle of the woods. So then I went there again in the fall when all the leaves had come down and I got the same feeling in the same place. And this time, as I was like looking around, I saw graves. I saw the white crosses in the woods and I was like, oh my God, this is all making sense. But then again, like my science brain, right, as we're all curious, was like, how is this possible? Because I didn't know that it was there the first time. It wasn't until I went back and saw it the second time. So I don't know, Anthony, if you've numbered these photos, but they're labeled.
Yeah, let me see.
Which photos? The ones you
The
sent
St.
me?
Patrick's Cemetery one.
Yes. Okay. So here's St. Patrick's Cemetery team.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a cemetery in the middle of the woods in a wildlife reserve, basically in New Jersey, in Morris County. It's established in 1869, and it's literally at the top of a mine. Well, it's not a mine shaft. It's a whole mining. I don't even know what to call it.
They're like ruins, like abandoned.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the entrance of the mine. And there's another picture with this, but hold on here. So this is the entrance of the mine that you can go to today. It's actually called the Bat Cave because bats live here now, obviously. And you can literally go right to the grate there in the front and you can look in. And Jennie and I have been here. I've taken a lot of people to this place because I think it's just so incredible
it is.
historically. And it's like, it's right by the road. So it's not far. you don't have to hike in too far to get to this area, but you can hear whispers. You can hear, oh yeah. I mean, the temperature changes because it's coming up from the shafts underneath, but there are miles and miles and miles of shafts underneath this, in this throughway. There, it was established in the 1760s and it closed down in 1913. It was running for almost, over, what was that? That's 150 years. So yeah, here's another awesome picture of this. So you can literally walk up to the grate. That's where we just were. But the cemetery is literally right above this rock wall. So if you climbed this cliff, the cemetery is right on top of it, which is bazonkers in my brain.
Wild.
So there used to be a church up there. Used to be a church on top here. Don't ask me why they put it right on top of the mines. It burnt down. Speaking of churches burning down, Anthony. But there was a very active church there. So here's just some old time pictures that I found of going into the mines here.
You see the tracks and everything.
Yeah. And they were mining iron. That's what they were doing here. And you want to do another mine picture there? We can kind of go through those.
That's all I got is those.
Yeah. They got some articles though here.
Oh, okay.
Articles of people.
No, don't show the articles yet.
Okay.
There was no other pictures that showed up. I gave you guys some pictures of miners in front of.
I don't know if we had room for all of them.
Oh.
That's all I got.
So it was a long-term mining town. And the graves, it's 440 graves are there, 440 bodies as far as we know. But there's only about 76 that have markers. And so my first video recording of Ghost History Medium I did and posted online is here. And there's one particular spirit that I connected with that blew my mind right out of the water, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. And let's go into that video.
That's your video.
Yeah, the 2 minute. This is a throwback, guys. This is really my hair is very short. This is 8 or 9 years ago, maybe more.
Short hair. No, I'm kidding.
No, I love it. My hair short. I love it. I've had it always. I've had it very short. I've had it very long. But this is
when
I first met you, your hair was very short.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So this is the 211 one you're saying.
Yeah, and this is a live reading that I did with my husband in the cemetery to see if I could connect with any spirits in the area.
Okay, it's gonna go.
David. He's a troublemaker. I'm getting head pain. Head pain from here, both sides. This is how this gentleman passed. Head trauma? I'm getting that this gentleman was younger. Head trauma, both sides, mostly the right side. Mostly this side, right here. Head trauma. Did you get shot? No. Trauma. That's weird. I mean, there were mines here. Was it a mine accident? It happened in the mine. Did something fall on your head? No response. He doesn't really want to talk to you, but he was a troublemaker. Okay, thank you. I get that message that that's how you died. You can release that pain.
Are you feeling anybody that was buried here, or just people wandering?
Miranda is here. David is here, but David does not have a grave. Like he doesn't have like a really nice, like he may not have a marker.
I like your hair.
Thanks. Yes. It's variable.
You always look good. You always look good.
I think I met you. Your hair was like that.
Yeah. So this was a reading. I connected with a few spirits, but this one, you know, every time I go to a location, I don't want to know anything about it. Obviously, I knew it was a cemetery. Obviously, I knew it was a mine. You know, those things I definitely knew. So when I went into the history books, I was looking for a David who had a mining accident. And Anthony, you want to pull up one of the first article that has like the headline on it? So I find this. So in October, this is the accident actually happened October 19th, 1911. 12 men drowned in Hibernia mine. And what actually happens, it was in a 1,600-foot mine shaft that somehow, while they were blasting, got too close to an adjoining mine, and the supports broke, collapsed, and flooded the mine. So 12 miners drowned. And actually, this is the worst mining accident in New Jersey. It's either the worst or the second worst. I couldn't remember, and I couldn't find the actual reading that said that. It's either the worst or the second worst. So don't quote me if it actually isn't the worst one.
Either way, it's horrible.
It's horrible. Mm-hmm. So if you want to go to the next slide for the article here, and I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah.
So here it says the dead are Joe Sweeney, George Collick, David Slate. And David Slate actually ended up being the foreman. He was the one that was responsible for all of them that were there. And it was interesting because he gave me a name in like an accent. He said it was David. And I was like, well, that's weird. But actually, a lot of the miners at the time that were there were Czechoslovakian and Polish. So they did have accents. So I don't know if he was being sassy with me. And it also wasn't uncommon for the foreman to actually learn the language of their employees so that they could better communicate with them. So we can go to the next. There should be one other image of names. So what I had to do next was I had to prove if he was there or not, because he said he was buried there. Or at least he said, I don't know. Actually, when I said it at first, I said he doesn't have a grave here. So this is a part of the cemetery record for St. Patrick's Cemetery of the 440 bodies that are there. And you'll see David Slate here, death date, that same date of the accident. And he was 28 years old. So he was young, obviously. And I don't know if they actually recovered his body. The last article I could find was December of 1911. And at that time, they still hadn't recovered his body. So it is possible that he really doesn't have a grave there and he doesn't have a marker, and that he actually is still down in the mine shaft in the mine. So that was, you know, I mean, again, it's just wild. It's unbelievable. And that, you know, is in our backyard and you can actually go there and visit this place.
It's incredible. I mean, it really is. We investigated there together and we got a lot of activity around the mine manager. Remember?
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. There's even a burial mystery about the mine manager. Yes. There's a cemetery mystery about him too.
I think this picture is also from it.
Yes. Yeah.
I just wanted to show people what some of the stones look like. I thought I'd put that in there. It's really, it's just beautiful in the middle of the woods. It's up on a hill. You hike up there and.
I'm nice. Just curious. Why are there like little pictures of gnomes, statues on the bottom?
Oh, people go up there and leave all kinds of things because it's public and it's in the middle of the woods. So there's like beads and like little toys on stuff. I don't really know.
That's interesting. So there's other videos here. Jenny, you sent me. One
I
with.
think,
You want me to start playing some of those?
I guess, is there the one that has from this mine? So people get, I did like
Don't
a
know which one from
panorama,
this mine.
so you can see all the
Oh,
hill.
nice.
Cemetery.
Peter,
Send me comes with a bunch of numbers, no labels.
a
So
short one, like 12 seconds.
I got one at 12. Okay, I'll try that.
This is it right here, 20.
One. Okay.
Okay.
Alice, would you want to come talk to us? Mr. Moulton, Pat.
Okay, you got to turn it up. Probably.
Yeah.
That was an EVP. Okay.
That's not at
So
St. Patrick's, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
that-
St. Patrick.
That looks like
No,
a
that's
different
not St.
cemetery.
Patrick's.
This
David Slate.
Oh, it's got a chill.
Woo, got a chill. David Slate.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
that's
was
St.
like
Patrick.
years later, right? And you can see the difference, like when there's no leaves there, how stark and open it is compared to when the trees are in full, full leaf. You can't see anything anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I would send that to sort of give people you want to see what it looks like, right? Like the whole view of it.
That's it.
Yeah. It's
That's cool.
really cool.
Yeah,
really
there's
cool.
one
I
more.
mean-
You might as well play the other one too while you're at it. Before we run out of time.
We
Oh,
have like
cemetery,
45 minutes. I think we're good.
Well, the way we talk sometimes.
I think we're good. So I sent in a video of two, I think. One is from it's called the Cortland Rural Cemetery in Cortland, New York. It's near Cornell University, and it's absolutely one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. Just really gorgeous cemetery, and it was one of my favorite EVPs because I was with Nicole from Full Moon, and we were trying to talk to this man, who was buried there. His name was Moulton, Mr. Moulton. We're like, Mr. Moulton, we want to talk to you. And then right next to him was this little one that said Alice on it. And then nothing. And then we're like, Alice, you have anything to say? And right away, we got this amazing EVP. We're like, you want to talk? And she says, that's all right. That's all right. Like, it was so funny because she had like an accent too. And her name was, I think it was Polish, the last name. But she was like, that's all right. Like, so funny. So that was the EVP you just played. If you want to play it again, turn up your.
Play it again.
That's the first one.
But a beautiful place if you're ever in Cornell.
Alice, would you want to come talk to us? Mr. Moulton, Pat.
That's funny.
She's like, no,
That's a-
thank you.
Great EVP.
I know. She's
That's
like,
an
no, thank
amazing
you.
That's all right.
EVP because you can hear tonality, female, age. Wow.
Yeah.
Play it
Yeah,
again.
and she was like 20, 21.
Wow.
Alice, would you want to come talk to us? Mr. Moulton, Pat.
And
Yeah,
you can tell
that's okay.
I can't hear it because I'm still talking. Like, Mr.
Mhm.
Moulton, somebody talk, And yeah, so she was like, I think 20, 21, something like that, Alice. And sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
young
yeah,
woman.
Yeah. She's not
That's a
Mr.
beautiful
Moulton
place.
for certain. Yeah, that is definitely
No.
a young woman,
It-
child.
She wanted nothing to do with us. And neither did she. That's all right. She was so polite. No, thank you.
No.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I don't
Look,
think
it was
we
me.
wanna
I was
talk.
like, get the out of here.
Oh man, we were so shocked though because we were like waiting for a man to talk, and then
Right.
Hey, you got one more thing. You want to play? Yes or no?
I'll play it.
Number 20.
So it's
I have it as Old Cemetery.
okay, yeah. So this is a cemetery in Somerville where I live, my town is really old, like late 1600s it was founded. And I love it because this is our old cemetery, like Revolutionary War graves, and names that we know, right? Like we have these local cemeteries, right? And there's names in there that are related to my home, which I thought would be interesting to bring up. Like I was walking through and I saw the name Van Fleet, and I was like, there's because we bought the house from the family who built this house. Like we're the second family to own it. It's 100 years old. So it was really cool to see the family that built the house, to find their graves, My house is not haunted, not haunted. No, Mr. Van Fleet never comes by. But it was kind of neat to see that history from my home in my town. So anyway, beautiful place, old, lots of Revolutionary War stuff. So I'll play it.
Okay.
Oh, what a
Just a-
sweet video.
Yeah, well, it's just, I thought we were doing cemetery, so let's look at a cemetery video. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I know.
it's just flat, but it's old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, a lot of these graves are forgotten and stuff like that. So for us to show and bring something back to these graves that, you're not forgotten, or these spirits, you're not forgotten really, So I think we're doing like a service also for the forgotten graves that people that did exist now 100 years, or they don't exist anymore, and we're bringing it back for them to have some spotlight on them again still. So I think that's nice.
And I think it does matter to spirit. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because I just remember as we're talking here, I totally forgot that this happened. What is that store that we used to go to? Oh, God, I can't even remember even the town it's in. Lafayette? No, it's not even in Lafayette. There's a knick-knack store that I would do readings in recently in the last 2 years. And one of the spirits that was in the place told me her name and where she was buried. And then like a few weeks later, I videoed me go, and she told me where she was. She said up through the arch to the left, up the hill, and then right to the right. And I did it. I did the whole walk through. I videoed the whole thing, walked through, went right up and found her grave. And so I do think it matters to them that there is recognition of where they are and where they, I think it matters.
I believe so. And that's why I like drawing them, because like I said, I give faces to the dead, because how many years these people forgotten, and then all of a sudden they appear to me, and I could give them something,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to show, by the cemetery, by Cypress Hill Cemetery by me,
Yeah.
about the Fox sisters, which I mentioned. And the story I got with the Fox sisters is here. It's the grave, the actual grave of the Fox sisters. Okay. And it was weird how I found the Fox sisters.
Can you put that back up for a second? Well, just while you're talking, I just want to see it closer. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the actual. I wish I could bring it in for you.
No, it's okay. I just
As a matter of fact, the names on there, it says their name's Fox and then Kane, and then you see on Jakin, that's their husband. You know, they were both married. And I'll tell you the stories on that in a minute. But I went to church. I was in church. It was a Sunday. Church went out. So my grandparents were buried in Cypress Hill Cemetery. You want this to come down, or you want to still keep it up?
No, keep it up. You can keep it up as you're talking.
yeah.
So what happened was, I used to visit my grandparents' graves after church. I just go over there, say a prayer, and then go home, whatever. So I drive. I'm in the cemetery. I'm driving. I go to my grandparents' grave, and I say the prayer. And it was weird because when I left there, I was driving back to the cemetery to go back, come out on the Queen side, and as I'm going, I had this strong urge to pull over, and so I pulled over. It's like, sometimes I go with those urges. So I pull over, and I have an urge to go up the hill. So I get out of the car, and I walk up this hill. As I walk up the hill, I see this in front of me, the Fox sisters, and it says on it, actually, I can't read it, but it says something about modern day spiritualists, the founders of modern day spiritualism. So I go up to the grave. I'm like, oh, I said, and I introduced myself. I said, I'm Anthony, and I'm a spirit. I do paranormal investigating. I see spirits and stuff. So I start talking. So this is where it gets weird. I put my hand on the stone, like that. I just put my hand on the stove. At that moment, I got like a pain, and not a pain, but something shooting out my arm, like go to my heart, and it made me feel like happy. It made me, and I was smiling after that. I was like, that was how it just came to me. Like, it was weird, the feeling I got. And so I got the feeling that they wanted their story told. And
Yeah.
around that time, this was not that was October 30. It was October 17th, 2017. Is when this happened. So I go home. I go down to my car, and I'm like, who the hell are the Fox sisters? No clue.
Oh, you didn't know?
I had no clue.
How can you not know?
I didn't know the Fox sisters. Hey, I'm not into all that.
He's like, I introduced myself. Hey, how you doing? I'm Anthony.
Hey, I'm doing here. How you doing down there?
Oh,
Hey,
you're dead. Oh,
are you
you're dead.
comfortable
That's why
there?
you're
Are
doing.
you comfortable laying down there? I don't know. So I go back
Like
to
I
my car,
introduced
and I'm
myself.
Googling, and I'm like, oh, the Fox. So I said, oh, wow, this is crazy. How I got the feeling to pull over and go up to this grave. I'm like, this is weird. So I start doing the thing, and I bring my friend. I get my friend Joe, a couple of people that were investigating with me and stuff like the time. And I said we went back to the grave, and I told them about this, and I did a couple of EVPs, and I was getting stuff, but I couldn't make out exactly because it's right next to the Jackie Robinson Parkway right there. So it's very hard to hear any kind because you don't know what it is, if it's a sound of a car or a voice. But I thought I did hear a woman's voice saying hello on it. So I'm like, so I start talking, and it's like, I'm going to try to make a documentary on this, which I did try. And of course, you need a group of people that cooperate with you when you do a documentary.
Yeah.
So we went back and forth, and I actually went to Hyattville, where the Fox Sisters story started at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we went to the because it's not there no more. They actually burned it down back in the I think it was the 70s or 80s because it was condemned, but they burned it down. But they have this big house built around the spiritualists have this big house of glass built around the actually original frame. Okay, and so we went there. I actually interviewed the caretaker, and I got her to. I talked to her into letting us go in there and do an investigation, and we did.
You
And
talked her into it.
yeah, no, because
You made her an offer she
when
couldn't
I
refuse.
yeah, maybe you can't refuse.
He had
Hey,
a hammer. He had
your
a hammer.
brains on the contract or your signature. You know what I'm saying? But no, she was nice and everything. And
I'm kidding,
what
Anthony.
happened was when I said we're doing that, somebody came and they seen us talking to her, and they came over, and she goes, "Yeah, they're gonna do a vest." And she goes, "They're gonna do a vest." And she turned the guy turned to me, and goes, she must like you guys and trust you. She lets nobody in there at nighttime. So okay, I thought it was cool.
Ooh.
So we're the only ones, the first ones, and the only ones to ever investigate that place because the spiritualist people came in and said, "No, we don't want
Wow.
that stuff." So we went in there, and it was crazy because we're in there, and I was asking questions, and there's a light overhead, and every time I said ask a question, and the light would flicker. So I would stop asking questions, nothing would happen. I asked a question, the light would flicker. So it was crazy how that happened. And I thought maybe it was some kind of sensor or something like that. I was like, being an electrician, I'm looking at it like maybe it's something else, because it
Right.
wasn't windy out. There was nothing that would cause that. Also, inside the place, they have an actual little dollhouse of the original house that was there. Okay. And they have the characters inside. They have the little, and throughout the night,
Cute.
and I noticed it, then my son noticed it. The other guy that was with us wasn't too bright in the head. And so I'm telling my son, that figure, when we first got here, was over on the side of the side of the wall, this wall of the thing. Now it's by the stairs. Okay, the thing moved throughout the night, moved from the side wall that was away from the stairs on the actual dollhouse to the stairs. So he noticed. Then we noticed it. So we're going on. We're doing an investigation. We're getting a lot of knocks, and because we kept on knocking and asking questions and stuff. Before the night was over, we went. That same doll was at the bottom of the stairs.
What?
Yeah.
Good.
And it's in glass?
Huh?
It's in glass and closed?
Yeah. It was. It's a side of a house. It's actually it's a dollhouse of the replica of the original house that was sitting on this foundation.
Right.
With the look these little dolls that they made of what the girls look like. It's Maggie and Kate and the mother and father, and it was the one started at the top of on the top and ended up at the bottom of the stairs before the night was over. And
That's
it was,
really
it was a little doll. It was like Kim, you would have loved it. It was a little doll, and it was at the bottom of the stairs. But there's a rumor about that house that the original when they had years ago, before the Fox sisters actually moved in it, because they only were there like not even 18 months. They were not even there that long. I think it was 8 months they were there before they started getting all this stuff. But there's a rumor of past, because they were renting the house, they didn't own it, and it was the past tenants that were there and stuff. There was a rumor of one of them. They murdered one of the what do they call them, the peddlers or something like that. The door-to-door type of salesman type of thing. Back then it was big, and it was rumored that one of them, the old tenants, killed this person for his goods and buried him in a wall in the basement. Okay. And so the haunting of the house was, it was knocks and knocks. And they say that there was a guy that was buried in the basement.
Right.
Okay. They buried him alive. That was rumor. And they never really found a body in there, but they found other stuff. Well, no, they did found bones there later on, like 40, 50 years later. They found bones in that area. But so we went in there, we actually knocked once, knocked twice and stuff. We were trying, but we were getting so much physical stuff than we were getting on the audio. And the audio, every time we asked a question, it got static. It went, it didn't like answer. It was like, shh, like it couldn't answer. And the lights would flicker. It was crazy. But yeah, so we tried to get the documentary together. And of course, things didn't work out because you need everybody on the same page and have the people, well, most of the people weren't. And so I still got some of that footage left of all that. But it was crazy how I got introduced to the Fox Sisters by a feeling just driving by that was drawing me to it. Yeah, maybe it was all the energy that was there. Also outside, when you're outside that building, that's the monument, they're going to have all kinds of stuff going on there now. But you could stand there and you could look in the distance and you could see shadows move tree to tree. It was crazy. And they looked like they were trying to get closer too, but there was a field, so they just moved tree to tree. And so I mentioned it to the caretaker. So I'm seeing shadows from tree to tree. She goes, "That's one of the things that was said. That was, people see that out there all the time, and people just come to see." As I'm talking, I hear knocking on.
I know.
It's weird.
I heard that. I'm like, oh, jeez.
My house is quiet. And she said that people would hear knocking, people moving from tree to tree in that area all the time.
Hmm.
It was interesting. It was very interesting how, I was drawn to that.
Yeah, I didn't know you didn't know who they were.
I had no idea who the Fox Sisters were.
That's it. That's really interesting.
I even know who the Warrens were through the Conjuring movies. So shows how much I really follow this stuff. I know that's why. I mean, with all this stuff, I don't follow it because of I'm trying to get.
Yeah. Wow.
No, that's not it. That's not it. No, this is it. A lot of times I go to the Fox grave because I still go up there, and I always see in the background that little boy standing there. I just look at the grave. There's a boy. I don't know if you can really notice it on the picture.
Yeah.
I noticed that little boy standing there all the time. I have no idea what that
So
is.
who do you think at the Fox Sisters' house was responding to you?
Who I thought it was responding to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. The story of the Fox Sisters, I don't know if you know the story in general.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. That is something I do know about.
Yeah.
Okay. How in 1848, it was March 31st, I think it was, and that they woke up and they heard they heard knocking in the house, the parents and stuff. Who I thought was because they actually called the guy Splitfoot. And later on, Splitfoot, if you know what Splitfoot means, it's actually the devil, pretty much, because Splitfoot, because the devil's supposed to have feet of goats,
Right.
and
Right.
the goat's foot is split. So that's where that came from. And who was contacting us? I'm not sure if it was the guy that they assumed was buried in the basement, or maybe who was actually, if there was a spirit there back when the girls were doing their thing back and forth, because that area there, it's very spiritual. Matter of fact, that area is where the Mormons started. Where what's his name, John Smith, I believe is it, went out into the woods or something in that area, and he came back with the whole new Mormon religion.
Huh.
And matter of fact, there was like three other religions that were actually formed up in that location, and one is spiritualism. You know,
Wow.
there's a bunch of different things. So I couldn't tell you who was contacting me because that's a very spiritualist type of place. Um, and a lot of the building is still there where the girls actually went to school right down the block, right next to them. They had to walk a couple feet down the road, and the school was there. So
Yeah, actually, the spiritualist church that I did a lot of my mediumship training at
Mhm.
bought the church, bought the school. Excuse me.
yes, I know.
Mhm.
I know. Guess
Cool.
guess who we got to
That's
investigate? Who we got to interview that weekend?
Oh, Janet Nahavik.
Yeah,
Rest
Oh, wow.
I interviewed her.
in peace.
I didn't know she passed, but I interviewed her, and she actually the first thing I ever started with her was, of course, with a joke, and she was she was a nun at one time before she got into becoming a reverend in the spiritualist church. And the first thing I said, I told her, I said, I'm a little afraid of you. She goes, why? I said, you were a nun. I said, if you don't have any yardsticks on you to crack me across the knuckles, do you? Because
Oh, God.
and she leaned back and said, oh no. I never did that. And it was like, she was a very nice person. I met
Very nice.
Reverend
She was
Joe.
my one of my main teachers. Yeah, one of my main instructors.
They were when we went up there. We
Amazing.
went back there to do a full interview with everybody because we went up there twice. They were opening up their church up there, and we went to the actual church opening. I met her. I met Reverend Joe, and Reverend what's it, Alton? Alton. He was from England. He came Upton.
Oh
Upton.
yes, yeah. Upton. Yeah.
Yeah, Upton, and I met him also. I interviewed him. I
Steve
interviewed
Upton,
Jan,
wife. Yeah.
and somebody else interviewed Joe, Reverend Joe. Reverend
Nice.
Joe. We went to the mass and everything, and they put the healing on me. That was crazy how they did that. They came up to me and they put my hands on my shoulders, and it was like, holy shit, the whole body felt warm. It was crazy.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
service. Every
Yeah.
service offers healing.
Yeah, so it
That's
was
incredible.
Yeah, we got. I got so far into it, and of course I had to stop. And I did all the genealogy on them. I go back with the Foxes to when they were in Germany. The father, one of the Fuchs before when they came here, they became the Fox, and also the mother. The mother was Smiths, the Smith family, and when years later, a lot of her family during the Revolutionary War. Ran to what do you call it, Canada because they didn't believe us with the fight with England. They were English sympathizers, and it was like I mean I got the whole thing. And it's not just the Fox sisters because it's the three of them. The Leah, the oldest sister that was with them, she was 18 years older than them. And there's a brother David, and there's a sister Elizabeth, and there was another sister that passed away. She was like I think 8 months old. So there's a whole big history behind that too, and the mother and father breaking up and stuff, and how they were actually born in England, and the father was a blacksmith that couldn't find work, and that's why he came back down here because the son had a house across there. David had a house and his own farm, and they rented out this place and were having their own building built, and then all this happened, and then they went into the spiritualist and stuff. I think because the older sisters really pushed him into it because she was broke and everything. Matter of fact, she had a young daughter too, Elizabeth. She had a daughter that was I think Katie's age, Kathleen. But yeah, it's the whole thing, the whole big thing with them and how the Pulse family took them in during the time when they first coming out. I mean, there's this lot, but that's we're talking about cemeteries. I just wanted to let
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. And like Kimm always says, and I've learned this from Kimm, like that places call to you, right? Like that locations choose you, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, cemeteries really chose you. Getting back to cemeteries, like cemeteries really chose you from the beginning.
I was a kid. I've been going to cemeteries by myself since I was about 8 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
like I said, back in the 60s, 8 years old, your parents said, go play in the street. You went and played in the street, 8 years old. Nowadays, you can't even do that without watching them,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But seriously, I
Um,
mean,
we're on a spiritualist kick. I wonder if we should have another show on spiritualism, because I have a
I
crazy
know.
spiritualist story. I don't know if we have time or if we want to.
Yeah, I mean, we
yeah,
got
tell us.
tell us.
We only have like 2
Good.
announcements at the end to save time for.
Okay, I don't know if I've shared this on the show yet. So I went on a trip with my girlfriends to Vermont, to it's like a resort kind of in Vermont, and we were at the lodge having dinner. We're all chatting, chit-chatting, whatever. And they asked me how my mediumship was going at dinner. And so I was just telling them about, the mediumship, all the paranormal stuff I do, because everybody knows. And they're fascinated. Like most people, I think, are kind of fascinated now. They're curious about it. So at the end of and this was a nice restaurant. Like we ate very well. We drank quite a bit. So we were calling for our bill. We were trying to leave. And our waitress comes over and she says, "Your bill is covered." And we were like, "What?" And she said, "Your bill is covered by the Eddy brothers." And we were like, "Okay." And so we thought she was kidding, right? This bill had to have been $400. There was 5 of us there, and we were eating. I mean, we don't, 5 of us. So we're like, we don't understand. So then we called her back over. We're like, what do you mean our bill? There's no bill. She said, no, it's paid for by the Eddy brothers. They're not on this side of the veil.
Wait, what?
Literally, this happened to me. No joke. I have 4 other witnesses.
Wait, Kimm got paid by ghost money.
So literally, I looked it up. Their Eddy brothers were 2 very famous spiritualists in this town of Vermont. It was considered the origin of spiritualism in Vermont was the Eddy brothers. They were spiritualists. No, I know. And
I had to pinch myself there for a second. Like, wait, did I fall asleep? Like, what happened? What?
So we have no idea. We have no clue. We don't know if this is a rule. Like if somebody brings up spiritualist or mediumship in the town,
like a fun, like a day of a fun or something. That's my face, Mary Beth.
We to this day we have no idea. We literally walked out. We didn't pay a dime. It was probably a $400 bill.
And then she got arrested. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Then we got kicked out of the resort. But literally, that's what she said to us. She said, "Your bill is paid for, and it's the Eddy brothers, and they're not from this side of the veil."
By 2 dead guys.
Literally.
Well, they're not going to hit on you at least.
So, yeah. So you never know where you are talking about spiritualism, paranormal, mediumship. The movement is everywhere, and you never know. And that is a true story that really happened to me.
It's like, why did you never tell that before?
I don't know. It never came up.
It's almost 10 o'clock. That's the best story I've ever heard in my life.
Did you guys leave a tip?
I know.
I don't remember. I think we did, because I think we tried to pay. We were like, well, we have to pay you. Because we had to pay and she said, no, you can't pay anything. She goes, you can't pay anything.
Yeah, or they'll get angry. The spirits will be angry.
Meanwhile, yeah. Isn't that so? Spiritualist movement is everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we could do a show on spiritual. I know spiritualists that teach in Lilydale, so we could.
Well, let's get a guest on from there, mister.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I know somebody. And you both know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention it because this case we can't get.
I do.
I don't, but that's okay. That's normal.
You do, but you don't.
The other day, I just want to show. I stopped by Jackie Robinson's grave, so I just wanted to show that quick.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson, famous baseball player, and this is more of his grave there. See, people leave stuff on his grave all the time.
It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Oh my, are those all those are all baseballs. Wow.
Yeah.
And bats.
Bats,
oh my gosh, and helmets and gloves.
Yeah, the people leave stuff there all the time.
That's cool.
As I guess, and Yeah, that's me. Hey, who's that guy?
Oh my
Michael
God.
Anthony.
This ugly guy. Yeah, okay, I'll put him back up. Okay, but yeah, they put all kinds of stuff on the grave. So, you know, also the Cypress Hill Cemetery. I just want to show you one more thing. See this here?
Yeah.
This tree was planted by President Garfield, and it's still there after all these years. You know, and it's still growing, and you can go there and sit. And this is right in the military cemetery of the Cypress Hill Cemetery. They have all different sections with military and everything there. So, you know,
Wow.
yeah, which is a lot of stuff going on there.
Oh.
So, can I show some pictures of drawings I have?
Yeah.
We have
What
10 minutes.
what year was that? Like how many years? What year was President Garfield?
You know something? It doesn't say. Doesn't
I'm
say,
looking at
but I know it's
I
a long
could
time
guess
ago.
at the size
James,
of that
right?
tree. I would
Is
say
it James, right? James A. Garfield? James
Yeah.
I
Garfield.
would say
Um,
80 to 100, maybe 120.
1831.
Hmm.
Oh, he was born 1831.
Yeah. I mean, I got
He
so
was
many stories.
assassinated 1881.
You know, different locations
So
I've been
maybe
to.
150.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
maybe.
thought. I was like, that's over 100 years old, easy.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a cemetery around it. The cemetery is from the Civil War into, well, it's the, was it the 1818 war, something like that? 18, there was a war back in the, was it 1819? Because you got the Spanish American War, and you have all kinds of different wars going on at that time.
Yeah.
And this goes all the way up to Vietnam, this cemetery. I think it's pretty much full now.
Well, wait, we're talking about 1812, the War of 1812.
Yeah, 1812. I knew it was
Yeah.
one of the wars. Yeah. So it's. I mean, there's people buried there from 1812 and to I think the Vietnam War, and some people. And there's a lot of unknown soldiers and everything in that location, which I used to go there and pray for. There's 12 of them in a row. I call them the unknown 12. So when I go there, I say prayers for them and stuff like that. And, you know, but it's that cemetery. I mean, it has so much stuff going on in it all these years. You know,
Wow.
but I don't want to take all the conversation.
Yeah, and I don't believe that the souls or the spirits are, you know, permanently attached to their resting place. I think it's
thank
kind
you.
of, yeah, I think it's an anchor place, so they can use that as like an anchor place to communicate better. Like if you're not going to be in their house, or if you're not going to be in another place where they've had a lot of living life in a location, I think their grave is the next step, because that's another place where they have an anchor point. But I don't feel like they just wander around, or just, they can if they want. I mean, they're free spirits, right? They can if they want. They can come down and visit their grave.
Sure. I just think why though? Like this is when I was
Yeah.
younger, I always thought, why would a cemetery be I asked my parents, I'm like, why would a cemetery be haunted? Like it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was like,
sometimes it also has a lot of emotion too.
Yeah,
And places
right.
with a lot of emotion tend to have a bit more spirit activity.
It makes sense now, but when I was little, I'm like, why would anyone want to, I don't know, why would you want to hang out there?
Why would you want to hang out there?
It did when I was, a kid. Didn't make sense to me. We lost Anthony.
Yeah, we did lose Anthony. Oh
Taking
no.
over. The chicks are taking over. So I'll make an announcement then, if that's okay.
Great. Make an announcement. Let's do it.
So I want everybody to wish tomorrow is our owner of ERRT Radio's Networks, Ron's birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
So,
happy birthday.
happy birthday, Ron. Thank you for everything. We love you.
Thank you.
I wanted to make sure we said that on the show before we left. And also, we're re-showing episodes of our show since it's over a year now. For those of you who joined us later on, every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m., we're starting from episode 1. We have episode 2 just aired last weekend. So each weekend we're starting over from scratch from episode 1. And this is 67, if you can believe it. And so if you missed something, check it out. Saturday nights, 8 to 10 p.m. But you can always find it on YouTube. But that's all.
Great.
That we
Good
were showing
announcements,
you.
Jenny.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
that we're showing our episodes again. It's kind of fun to like go through it anyway, because I'm like, oh yeah, we had them on. Because we've had
Right.
great guests,
Yeah. I mean,
such great
67 is a lot.
locations,
Yeah.
such great
Yeah.
guests. Today
Yeah.
I learned at least 3 new words
Yeah. Right.
and terms. We
Fun
should
facts today. Whistle past the graveyard, people.
you should type in those 2 words for the graveyard
I
if you
will.
can, because I
I
know
will.
it was like it was hard to pronounce. I agree. I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
this is
don't.
like the C is silent or the I is
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah. I don't know if it's coimetry or koi. Probably koe, but
Yeah.
because it looks Latin, you know.
Yeah. An abnormal affiliation or affection for cemeteries.
Yeah, that's who do we know like that?
I don't know.
Thanks for
Rhymes with
everybody who sent the letter.
Anthony.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll definitely put that in the chat. And I think we lost Anthony.
Aw. Well, we were just
That's
saying in the
okay.
chat earlier about how unstable the internet is today because of all that's going on. So I'm not surprised.
Well, and also thanks everybody for hanging in with us tonight. With our guests being sick, you know, like obviously flu going around, we understand. But we'll have him back, Andrew Warburton, expert on fairies, which was going to be an amazing topic.
Yeah, it was great hearing all of your cemetery stories today too, and your cemetery superstitions.
For sure. For sure. Okay. Yeah, and make sure you hold your breath when you go past a graveyard.
I can't believe that must be. Well, yeah, I mean, Anthony would die if his cemetery banned the entire county, it sounds like.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say? You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost.
Be a ghost.
I can't do it like him.
Sure,
you want to
can.
look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost.
My hands out.
I think we lost him. Okay, well, that's all right. Anthony's computer's down, everybody. So if he doesn't come back, he says goodbye. No, I made that up.
He says goodbye.
Hey, how you doing?